Apple isn't having a very good month. Before Christmas, the company acknowledged that it deliberately lowers the performance of older iPhones to keep them from overdrawing the batteries and powering down at bad times. Now, the company's stock has dropped following reports that demand for its flagship iPhone X may be softening. Bloomberg reports multiple analysts cutting projected demand for the iPhone X by 10 to 15 million units. Apple is also supposed to have cut its own internal orders for the phone, and Hon Hai Precision Industry, aka Foxconn, has reportedly quit hiring workers. The overall impact for Apple's product lines are unclear, and the potential impact of the company's battery life issues could be significant. The problem is this: everyone knows that battery life in a smartphone decreases with age, period. No matter how careful you are with your charge-discharge cycles, and no matter how good the manufacturing process used for the battery, you'll see some degree of charge loss over time. We can't predict how much or how quickly without a great deal more information that Apple and other manufacturers never provide battery chemistry, and we're handling a secret sauce, but we know the long-term trend. And so long as battery life, health were decoupled from performance, this was a fair balance. Except now they aren't, and Apple is going to push ahead with keeping them that way. Another facet to the problem is this: while we now know the iPhone 7 is showing signs of the same performance drops as the iPhone 6s, the two phones appear to be dropping by different rates over time. This could be related to the iPhone 6s battery issues that Apple announced over a year ago, but it could also be a sign that Apple is using different performance curves for each device. Here's the iPhone 6s performance as the battery ages. This graph implies that this iPhone's performance drop-off is regular, with 12 to 16% stair-steps at each point. Here's the iPhone 7. It doesn't follow the same gradient at all. The drop between full performance and the first tier is approximately 25%, significantly larger than the iPhone 6s. It could be that this is related to the iPhone 6s battery problem, or evidence that Apple tweaks the algorithm on a device-by-device basis, or proof that a change in battery chemistry produced meaningfully different performance fall-offs and results. Apply this concept to the iPhone X and it's easy to see the problem. What's a $1,000 phone worth if you know it'll perform like an iPhone 8 within 18 months or less? What's the appropriate test model for a phone like that? How should potential Apple customers think about the implications for overall value and device longevity? Apple would clearly rather you didn't think about these things at all, and while I'm mildly sympathetic to the company's technical explanation for why it took these measures, its failure to communicate them, explain the rationale, or admit that its own relentless drive to build thinner products created this problem don't sit well with me. The iPhone X and iPhone 8 family are, objectively speaking, good phones, but I can't blame anyone who avoids them while waiting to see how this battery mess shakes out. Nobody wants to buy a new phone and be roped into a battery purchase several years later simply because Apple's performance-constraining phones, some reports indicate this rating is quite conservative, decided to reduce SoC performance without warning and outside of user control. Lawsuits are already piling up, though it's not clear Apple will revise its approach even in the face of such opposition.